Hey folks, it's Tom from H4 Services. You know, normally on my channel you're looking at either videos of dolphins and triathletes and all that I filmed for the fun of it on the beach, or you're maybe seeing some of my commercial work with real estate and construction and things like that. Today is going to be a little bit different. Today I am going to make a video for my friends in the ham radio world here in the Pensacola, Florida area. We had been talking about APRS, and I found a new way to set it up in my Jeep Gladiator here, and that's what we're going to get into right now. So I wanted to make this video today because I've got the doors and most of the top off of the Jeep, which gives me an opportunity to film this a little bit easier without doors in the way. So let's talk about how the Jeep is set up, some of the components. I've got a Yaesu FTM 400. The head or the main unit is down here. The head unit is mounted up here. I'm not going to talk about that much because it doesn't really play a primary role in this particular setup. What does play a primary role is this. This is the this is the VGC VR-N76 radio. This radio has Bluetooth connectivity to phones and tablets, and it has APRS capabilities built in, but most importantly, it has a Bluetooth TNC, and that is the key to this whole setup. So you'll see that I've got some mounts set up. I'm not sponsored by anyone, but I will tell you that I'm using bullet point mounts, and I've been super happy. They're not cheap, but they're very heavy duty, very well made mounts. And that's what you'll see. The head unit for the Yaesu, the mic has a little place to hang up here. I've got a tablet bracket to hold the tablet, and then a mount here for the radio as well for the VGC. Now let's get into a little bit of how this actually works. Okay, so now we have everything in place and turned on. A quick little detour here to talk about the Jeep for just 1 second. I did get an option on my Jeep where there are 4 auxiliary switches down here. I really love this option because it drops off 4 wires. One set of them drops off under the dash here. The other set is under the hood by the battery. And this allows you to have pre-wiring for any accessories you want to hook up, whether that's driving lights or whatever, and in my case, ham radio stuff. And then you can go into the menu of the Jeep and you can change those as to whether they are powered by the battery all the time or only when the ignition's on, and you can set, it's really cool anyway, trust me. So anyway, that's where my power is coming from for the ham radio, and then I've also got a fast charger that's independent of the USB ports that are built into the Jeep. This is a cheapo tablet that I got. It is a Samsung, but it's a Galaxy Tab A, an older model that I picked up for like 80 bucks. You don't need a ton of processing power for this, so that worked. And on that, I am running APRS Droid, which you'll see right here. Now, right now, I'm in my own driveway, so I'm connected to the Wi-Fi for my house. But mobile, I could use the hotspot on my phone, or I'll show you something else a little bit later that's kind of cool that I've been playing with. But for purposes of showing the APRS, that's what you need there. You need an Android tablet that can run APRS Droid. So I've got that active now. Hopefully you can see the screen a little bit. And then over here, we've got the VGC. I've already got that set up so that the Bluetooth TNC is turned on. And so basically when I hit start tracking, you should see, let's see. what will you see? All right, it's talking. There you go. And it has already started broadcasting its location. I've got KW4TOM as my call sign. So I've got that is what I'm broadcasting my location under. It's KW4TOM-15. And then you'll see that I'm starting to get other sites on the map or on the list as well that I'm hearing. Now, APRS Droid has the capability of not only working with your TNC and your radio, but also over the internet. It can do the APRS IS functionality. Further than that, it can also cause this radio to act as a digipeater and an iGate. So, when this radio hears APRS signals from somewhere else, that tablet's going to iGate it back onto the internet if I have an internet connection. You'll see this map start filling in here, and you can see we can pick me, and we can scroll down, and it will track me on a map. So that's me parked in my driveway there on the map, and you'll hear signals going back and forth. The other cool thing here is you can do APRS messages right here from the tablet. Now right now I've got the tablet and the radio faced as if the passenger was using them, but these mounts are very flexible, and they can be switched around so that you can see them from the driver's seat. Certainly don't recommend getting too distracted in your driving, so when you're going to start playing with this stuff, I'd recommend pulling over. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this? So we're iGating, we're receiving APRS over RF, we are broadcasting our location over RF using APRS, and we are also pulling in location information off of the internet from other surrounding devices. So you can see as I back out, there's all kinds of other ham radio devices in the area. So this is all really cool. And you know, a few years ago, I built a portable APRS digipeater and iGate, and it took a whole bunch of parts, and I built it into an ammo box. Now you need a radio and a tablet, and that's it. So it's just amazing. The tablet was 80 bucks. This radio, I think I paid around 160 for it. You can probably get a better deal. There is a Radiodity has a version of this exact same radio under a slightly different name. I'll put that in the description. So I was just flabbergasted you could do all this with that little money having to be spent. So this is great in my driveway. When I pull out of my driveway, I'm going to lose my internet because I've got a Wi-Fi signal from the house. Not a hard problem to solve. I've got a hotspot plan on my phone, so I just turn on the hotspot and I'm still good to go. But what if I get out of cell coverage? Well, that's what we're going to talk about next. All right, so let me help you get oriented and explain to you what it is you're looking here, because this is kind of a weird angle. I'm lined up with the camera outside the back door of the Jeep, which is of course missing, so you can see quite clearly up through where the roof should be. Now, maybe not the slickest installation in the world, but I've got a piece of wood here that is resting on top of the roll bars, and it's being used to hold up the back of this Starlink dish. And the front of the Starlink dish is resting on the sound bar. Now, imagine, if you will, that I've got the hardtop on this Jeep. This Starlink dish is inside the hardtop, and it's actually pressed down onto the sound bar and that piece of wood by the hardtop. Now, because the hardtop is basically fiberglass and plastic, it doesn't interfere with the reception and the signaling for that Starlink dish, which means that under the current Starlink plans, I can use their mobile plan and get data while in motion on my Starlink plan. So anywhere that I can take the Jeep that I've got Sky, I'm going to have internet. which means you can use this anywhere. You can be out in the middle of nowhere where there's no other ham radios, or maybe just 2 or 3 other ham radios, some people that are with you, but no iGates, no digipeaters anywhere nearby, and yet you'll be able to be your own iGate, your own digipeater, and people will see you on the internet when they're using their computers to look at where you are. And of course, the people that are within range of this setup will also be able to see you there. So I just thought that was super cool. Now let's talk for a minute about Starlink. Right now, they've got a $50 a month, 50 gigabit plan. They used to have a $10 a month, 10 gigabit plan. Now APRS uses very little data, so that would have been more than enough to run APRS on. So I was kind of disappointed that they were phasing that out. But when they phased it out, they created a new plan. It's called a standby plan. And when you switch your dish to the standby plan, it only costs $5 a month. But your throughput speeds, while your data is unlimited, your throughput speeds go down to a half a megabyte, so 512 kilobits of connectivity. So you would think, well, that's not very useful. Well, you know, you'd be surprised what you can do over 512 kilobits. You can do voice over IP, and it is way more than you need to do APRS. So what I'm telling you is, if you've got one of these dishes laying around, you can use it with your APRS setup that I just showed you a minute ago. And for $5 a month, you have unlimited data and access to the internet, and you can iGate from anywhere. So I thought that was really cool. Wanted to share it with you. Who knows if Starlink will keep that plan around? Certainly could change. But while it's here, I'm going to enjoy it. So most of the time, I'll have my dish on that $5 a month plan. I can afford that. And then if I go camping or I have some need, maybe we have a storm and I lose my home internet, this becomes my backup internet. And as long as I've got a way to power it, I'll have internet access, you know, in the midst of, or in the aftermath of a hurricane, for example. So anyway, that's the whole setup. I'll back up just a little bit, give you a shot of the whole Jeep from a distance so you can maybe see, or maybe I'll go handheld with the camera so you got a better view of all this stuff. But with that, let's kind of wrap this thing up. So once again, there's another view of that dish, the way it's set up. Now, obviously, if I was going to run around with my top off the Jeep, I would need a much better way to secure that dish, because it would take seconds and it would be airborne the way it's set up. Now, you'll notice you don't see any cables. There is a cable right here that I actually feed up along the roll bar and plug into that when I'm using it. I just set it up there temporarily so you can see how it was being used. Okay, so, but I got full access to the back seat. People still have headroom up there, so it works great. Then, as we talked about before, let's see if I can get you a better light here. So there's my bullet point mounts, and you got the VGC radio working its little heart out there. Hopefully we got decent focus on that. And then maybe you'll be able to see the screen. There is our APRS tablet working its little heart out, doing its job as well. And then just for the rest of the Jeep, you got your FTM 400 there. I'll swing around to the back seat so you can see up above the dash there, you can see the faceplate for the FTM 400. And keep in mind that is a APRS capable radio as well, but it doesn't have a TNC in it. Love that radio, hate that it doesn't have a TNC though. And then as far as other goodies, I've got some phone mounts up there, and I've got a MagSafe charger for my phone. But just thought that this was a really neat way to do things. Wanted to share it. You don't have to have a Jeep to do this. This would work in a lot of different vehicles. Although the Starlink might present some challenges, you might have to find a way to externally mount it. Boy, this would be great in an RV as well. So anyway, that's going to wrap this up. Again, I'm Tom from H4 Services. KW4TOM is my ham radio call sign. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.